purchased the Rodecaster Pro II right after it came out about 2 years ago, and I have lost count of the number of shoots I've used this device on, both here in the studio and on site with clients. But in 2024, I'm considering selling it, and in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly why. My name is Cree, and on this channel, I talk about tech with context. If you're interested in learning how I use tech in my everyday video production workflow, consider subscribing. Now, if you've been following along for a while, you know that the Rodecaster Pro II has been a huge part of my workflow. In fact, I built an entire audio cart around this single device. I'll place a link to that video down in the description if you're interested in checking it out. But here's the thing, I am considering moving away from using this device. I think it has a specific need that it fills for my workflow, and that workflow is always changing. So what I'm going to do in this video is just step you through kind of what my thought process is, how I'm using this device, what I'm considering switching to, and without further ado, let's get started. First things first, I'm using the Shure SM7b in this particular example because this is a great mic, but it is also a high maintenance mic. And what I mean by that is it is gain hungry. Now, the Rodecaster Pro II is a perfect fit for this microphone because the Revolution amp allows you to turn your gain levels up higher like a typical recorder or mixer will do. In fact, most of the time, or before I purchased the Rodecaster Pro II, I did have to use a cloud lifter or a FET head to boost the gain levels in this mic before I even sent it to an audio recorder. So there was an extra piece of equipment. Now, by purchasing the Rodecaster Pro II, I was able to eliminate that piece of equipment. But you can see this device it's pretty large in size. And while it's here in the studio, that's fine. While I have it on my audio cart, that works well here. But I also take this device out when I'm recording with clients. That's if I'm doing any podcast interview recordings or anything that's going to require multiple microphone inputs, then I am turning to this device to do that. Now, as I mentioned, in the Rodecaster Pro II, what's also nice about it is it has a specific setting for the Shure SM7b. So let's go ahead and hop in and look at that. So you can see right here, I am running the Shure SM7b into this line mic number 1. The Rodecaster Pro II has a number of different microphone settings. Of course, most of these are Rode-specific microphones, but something nice that they have done is they've given you a preset for the Shure SM7b. So if you look in the menu here, you just have to select that microphone, and then you can adjust those gain levels right here in the interface. If you look over here to the right-hand side, you can also see I have processing enabled on this microphone. So you can turn processing off on the Rodecaster Pro II. You can turn processing on. And if you have processing on, you can also fine-tune all of your microphone controls, which is kind of what I've done with my voice in the Rodecaster Pro II. Or if I work with clients on a consistent basis, then what I can do in here is I can preset all of the processing. And that way, when I send this signal directly to my camera, or if I'm just recording this audio directly to the Rodecaster Pro II, it's already processed. It's already set up exactly how I want that audio to sound. And that is really something that I've taken advantage of when it comes to using this device. So you've been listening to the Shure SM7b with the processing on. Let's go ahead and turn that processing off. And this is what the Shure SM7b sounds like with the processing that I have enabled turned off. In this case, I do have the default settings, the processing settings set up in the Rodecaster Pro II. So if you're interested in knowing what those settings are, that's exactly what you are listening to. Now, what you can still do, even though the processing is off on this microphone, is you can still adjust those gain levels. And you can see it's real easy just to use the minus to turn those levels down and the plus to turn those levels up. In addition to those gain settings, you also have the knob here on the interface, and all you're going to do is turn the volume level up or down and that's how you can fine tune all of your audio levels. When I'm on site with a client, I just have a set of headphones on and I'm monitoring that audio the entire time. And then I can make any fine tune adjustments during that recording. And again, everything is processed. And once I take the SD cards out of this device, I can sync it with my audio, or I can just run this audio directly to the camera. Although I'm using the Shure SM7b along with the Rodecaster Pro II with this setup, any XLR mic is going to pair very well with the Rodecaster Pro II. Again, this is such an easy and great audio device and recording device to use, but the biggest downside to this device is the size. And while we're here, I am going to turn the processing back on so that you can hear the difference in the audio coming out of this microphone when you have processing turned off versus if you have processing turned on directly here in the Rodecaster Pro II. So the size of this device is its biggest downfall. If I'm going on site with a client, this is an issue for me. I'm carrying multiple cameras, microphones, lighting. I've got tripods. I've got, you name it. The list goes on. And because this device is so large in size, it takes up a big amount of space in the cases that I'm taking on site. So as tech evolves and as it improves, it's getting smaller and smaller. I'm an advocate for smaller tech. And what I'm finding is that with new tech coming out means that I can potentially eliminate large size items like the Rodecaster Pro II, and that's what I'm going to share next. For this portion of the video, the audio might sound a little different, and that's because I have completely eliminated the Rodecaster Pro II from this portion of the shoot, and I'm running the Shure SM7b directly into my camera. You notice that I don't have a cloud lifter or a FET head or anything like that, but what I do have is the FX3. This is what the setup looks like behind camera. I'm using the handle. So what you can do with the FX3 is, any camera that has an add-on where you can run an XLR mic directly to your camera, then this is how you're going to set that up. So rather than connecting my audio to the Rodecaster Pro II, I'm connecting it directly into this handle. There are two XLR inputs here. If you look closely, this handle has some settings on it. So the Shure SM7b does require phantom power. So in input 1, I have phantom power turned on, but now I just have this handle set to auto levels. I can manually adjust these gain levels right here in the FX3 handle, but in this case, I'm just setting it to auto. I also have it set to 0 dB just so you can hear what this sounds like. So there's no processing at all in this audio. Again, the Shure SM7b is just running directly into the handle of the FX3. But what I'm going to do right now is turn processing on. This is what the Shure SM7b sounds like with processing turned on. And I know you're wondering how I'm doing this, and what I'm doing is I'm using the power of AI. Now, when I'm out on a shoot and I am recording podcasts or interviews, what I can do is I can have each separate microphone running into dedicated cameras. And the great thing about this is once I get into the edit, it's really easy for me to do a multicam edit. I can see who's speaking at what time, so I can make those cuts in my edit. But what I can also do is take advantage of AI editing. Now, I'm using Firecut to do that right now. There are, I think, Autopod is also another tool you can use to automatically edit your multicam clips. So I am using this to my advantage because each of those clips has dedicated audio. I'm able to use that AI editor. And then what I'm doing with the final audio is I'm running a final process on it. I use Auphonic for this. After I edit and before I do an export, I am optimizing the audio by running that audio through Auphonic. And what I can do in Auphonic is I can set up all different types of different audio levels. I can add processing to it. I can normalize the levels so that it all comes out as the same level, regardless of who's speaking at the time. One person might have a softer voice, Another person might have a more robust or louder voice. It's going to make everything sound even. And Auphonic also gives you the ability to just hone in on the voice. It means it will process and it will take any background noises out of that audio recording for you. So if you have a ceiling fan going, like I do in my studio here all the time, if there is, the lawn maintenance crew is outside and the lawnmowers are going, or if something happens in your recording environment during your recording, especially for interviews when they're hours long sometimes, what Auphonic will do is it'll automatically take all that background noise out of the recording for you. Let's go ahead and place these audio recordings side by side. Right now you're listening to the Shure SM7b without any processing. It's just running directly into the FX3 handle. I have auto settings enabled for this video. And now you're listening to processing out of Auphonic. So I have all of the processing auto levels on, the limits are set. I'm also removing any background noise. And right now you're listening to what that post-processed audio sounds like running through Auphonic using the Shure SM7b running directly into my camera. And now we are back on the Rodecaster Pro II. You can see I have the SM7b selected. Processing is turned on, and this is what that audio sounds like as it's being processed with the Rodecaster Pro II. So now that you've heard all of those different options, let me know in the comments below which one you like the best. Now, when it comes to making a decision as to whether or not I'm going to sell the Rodecaster Pro II, when it comes to pre-recorded video, I am starting to use AI more and more in my audio processing workflows. So this is making the editing a little easier. It does require an extra step to process that audio in post-production, but in some cases, it really is saving me a lot of time and heartache and concern and stress while I'm on site recording with the client. I'm probably going to continue holding on to the Rodecaster Pro II. The reason why is because when it comes to doing live streams, and I do live streams here and for clients all the time, I can process that audio in the Rodecaster Pro II, so that way the end user, whoever is tuning into that live stream, they're getting a nice, crisp, clean, processed version of the audio. I can monitor all of that as the live stream's happening. So I think that's what I'll be moving to more and more in the future, is keeping the Rodecaster Pro II for live production only, and then probably slowly updating my workflows to incorporate AI into audio processing for any of my pre-recorded videos, both here for my YouTube videos and also with clients. So let me also know in the comments below what you think about that workflow. How are you using AI or the Rodecaster Pro II in your workflow? I'd like to hear that and your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks as always for tuning in. Before you head out, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in this type of content. And I'll see you again in next week's video.